You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're the show that tries to cut through the noise and pull out what really matters from all the developer chatter out there. Today we're looking at AI and software development. Trying to see what's real versus maybe what's just hype. We've got insights from industry reports, technical blogs, the works. It's quite a mix. So let's just dive right in. This idea that AI makes engineers 10x productive, maybe even 100x. I mean, it's everywhere. Sounds amazing, but is it actually happening? What are we seeing?
Yeah, it's a big claim, isn't it? And, well, honestly, some of our sources are pushing back pretty hard against that. There's this one piece, no, AI is not making engineers 10x as productive, and it argues pretty convincingly, I think, that the real bottlenecks aren't just coding speed. It's, human processes, requirements, gathering, testing, all that stuff. Existing bottlenecks are still the limiter.
Right. So AI might speed up typing code, but not the whole process.
Exactly. And you have to consider where the hype comes from, too, right? Investors, maybe bosses. They have reasons to push that narrative. Often, real engineering value isn't just faster coding, it's preventing work altogether. Like designing something better so you avoid bugs down the line. That's huge.
Avoiding the problem is better than fixing it fast. Makes sense. So, okay, if it's not just raw speed, what about these agentic workflows?
Yeah.
AI doing complex stuff on its own.
Yeah, the agentic coding ideas. Well, another source looked into things that didn't work there. Turns out a lot of those really complex agentic setups, they often failed or just got abandoned pretty quickly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What actually did work, like 95% of the time, according to this developer, much simpler stuff, just talking to the AI, often using speech to text, and just giving it really good context. Not fancy commands or complicated integrations, just clear conversation.
Huh. That's almost counterintuitive. More conversation, less complex tooling, like pair programming almost. So this really changes the developer's role then, doesn't it? If AI isn't just a speed boost for the same tasks, what is its role? How is it like reinventing things?
Yeah, exactly. And connecting that thought, GitHub CEO actually talked about this in a piece called Developers Reinvented. They see developers moving in stages, from being skeptical at first to then collaborating with AI and finally becoming more like AI strategists.
Strategists?
Okay. So our value shifts. It becomes more about delegation, telling the AI what to do, and then crucially, verification. Checking the work and orchestrating these AI agents, innovating beyond the code itself. Because, the prediction is AI will write a lot of the code soon. We become the conductors.
Okay, conductor. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And to help with that, new tools are popping up constantly, right? What's looking interesting on that front?
Definitely. Tools are getting better fast. Claude Opus 4.1, for example. Big improvements in agentic tasks, handling real-world code, reasoning. It scored 74.5% on SWE Bench Verified. Which is a pretty tough benchmark for getting code fixes right, debugging stuff automatically. That's a solid leap.
Wow, okay.
And then you've got OpenAI releasing new open weight models, like GPT-OS 120B and a smaller 20B one. The big deal there is the Apache 2.0 license. It means developers can really tinker with them, use them commercially, no strings attached, which is great.
That's right, freedom to build.
Exactly. And they have agentic capabilities too, plus full chain of thought access so you can see how it's thinking. They even have this thing called the Harmony response format in GPT-OS for structured output. Makes integrating the AI's answers into other tools way easier.
Okay, so the tools are getting seriously powerful. You'd think developers would be over the moon. But what's the actual vibe? How's the community feeling about all this?
Yeah, good question. And the 2025 Stack Overflow Developer Survey gives us a nuanced picture. On one hand, adoption is super high, like 84% are using AI tools or plan to start soon. Huge numbers.
84%, wow.
But, and this is the kicker, positive sentiment towards AI actually declining. And there's significant distrust in its accuracy.
Oh, so using it, but not necessarily loving it or trusting it completely.
Pretty much. There's definitely caution. Prove it to me attitude seems pretty common. Healthy skepticism, maybe.
Yeah, healthy skepticism sounds right.
Mm.
And, while AI is changing things, some of the classic developer headaches are still around, like managing TypeScript across multiple repositories. That's still a thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. The multi-repository TypeScript problem. It's a real pain point. Right. In a monorepo, sharing types is easy. But with polyrepos, separate projects keeping types in sync, avoiding these weird cascading dependencies, it's tough. Tools like Tsmorph are helping, though, letting you sort of programmatically check and compare types across different code bases.
Right. Okay. Good to know there are tools tackling that. And one last quick one, kind of related to daily workflow pains, GitHub's UI. Lots of people feel like it's gotten slower. Any insight there from our sources?
Yeah, that came up too. The short answer. Seems like it's down to inefficient client-side, routing your browser, doing too much work just to show different pages, and also rendering too many DOM nodes, basically drawing too much stuff on the screen at once. Classic tech debt hitting the user experience.
Ah, okay. Makes sense. So wrapping this all up, what's the big picture here? It feels like the developer role is changing with AI for sure, but it's not that simple 10x productivity story. It's more complex.
Definitely more complex. It's shifting towards strategy, towards orchestration, verification. The tools are getting incredibly powerful, no doubt. But as we saw, developers are still rightly cautious, especially about accuracy.
All right. So maybe the thought to leave everyone with is this. If AI is going to write most of the code, like the GitHub CEO suggests, what new value will you bring? And maybe more importantly, how do we make sure the AI isn't just, confidently telling us it succeeded when it's actually failing in subtle ways, like some of those experiments we saw? Something to think about.
Spoken Tech for your ears.